Right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to University of the Sciences Transfer Tips webinar. I'm going to give us a few seconds for our attendees to log in. I see a couple people are still logging in right now. So we'll let everybody get connected to their audio. If you can't hear me, please type into the Q&A box and let me know, and I'll adjust my volume. But my name is Kendra King. I'm the Associate Director for Transfer Admission at University of the Sciences. And tonight we're going to be talking about some transfer tips for students who are thinking about joining us, hopefully this fall or maybe even sometime further out in the future. And the topic of tonight's webinar is transfer student stories. So you're going to be able to hear directly from our amazing USciences transfer students all about their experiences, what it was like to transfer, and kind of give you the inside scoop on what it's really like to be a student at University of the Sciences. Okay, and the reason that we are doing this tonight is because I think there is a good number of you in the room right now who I know are thinking about transferring to USciences for the fall. And there are so many questions that go along with the college search process, especially when you're transferring from one institution to another. It can be pretty stressful. And there's a lot of things to consider, when you're going to a new institution. So, what is it going to be like if I live on campus? What is it going to be like, how do I make new friends and things like that? So just a lot of things to ponder. And I might not be able to, you're always welcome to look on our website and look at our previous webinars and also ask me these questions. But I think that it's also really good to hear directly from our students. So with that, I wanted to go ahead and introduce our transfer student ambassadors who are with us tonight. We have Bree. She is in the occupational therapy program. She's waving. And Hannah's in our pharmaceutical sciences program. And these are two members of our transfer student ambassador group. The transfer student ambassadors are students who work on campus. They give tours to prospective students. They help out with open house events, with other admissions kinds of events like this one. And they're also just here as a general, resource for prospective students and new students once you start. So what we can do, we can go ahead and start with Bree. And if Bree, if you wanted to go ahead and just kind of tell your story about your transfer experience at USciences. And before you start, sorry, for the attendees, if you do have questions throughout the presentations, please feel free to type them into the Q&A box, and we can address those after Bree and Hannah give their presentations.
Thanks, Kendra.
Thank you.
So, hi guys, my name is Bree, and I'm a fourth-year occupational therapy student. Right now, I'm in the second of my 4 professional years. So I just started grad school. I transferred from New York Institute of Technology, and I was in their biomedical engineering program. And I transferred my second year into USci, and I transferred into their 6-year doctorate program for occupational therapy. And then, yeah, so I got really involved on campus when I first joined. I joined a lot of different clubs, including the ambassador program. The picture that you guys see up there is actually me and my 4 pretty much best friends in the OT department. We were learning how to hardwire toys so that instead of pressing the button to emit the sounds, like, in this case, the frog stuck out its tongue and played a little noise. So we rigged them so instead of having to press the button, all you had to do is take 2 business cards and fold them in half. And this was for people that have issues with their fine motor control. Anyway, I'm also involved in SOTA, which is the Student Occupational Therapy Association. I'm involved in Greek life, specifically Delta Phi Epsilon. And then I'm also involved in a number of other clubs like the Art Club, Neuroscience Club, and I now serve on the Ambassador Council. And the picture on the left is actually an event that we had for our sorority. The theme of the sorority event was being on cloud 9, so everyone wore their pajamas and there were clouds and stars everywhere, and we just all had a really fun time. So yeah, I definitely recommend if you transfer to USci getting involved, because it is a huge way to build up different parts of yourself and just, really make this experience more enjoyable. Kendra, I think you're still muted.
Here we go. Thank you. Um, Thank you so much for that intro. Could you give us a little bit more info about maybe why you chose USciences specifically, and what helped you make your decision?
Yeah, so I actually transferred into the USci program specifically for their 6 year program. So, like I said before, I did transfer into the 6 year occupational therapy program. And one of the main reasons why I chose the 6 year program was because occupational therapy, I don't know how much you guys know about it or how many of you guys are interested in OT, but OT is transitioning to eventually to requiring a doctorate instead of a master's to practice. And I really just wanted to be ahead of that curve, be a little proactive, and get my doctorate. So in the event that that does move, I'm already covered. And then also the other reason why I chose to go into this program was I also wanted to go into academia at some point and be a professor. And that's only something you could do if you do have your doctorate within OT. So that's something that I really wanted to do. But also, I chose USci specifically because of the community and culture here. I really can't explain it to you guys unless you've walked through campus. I know Hannah and Kendra know exactly what I'm talking about, but when you walk through campus, there's just something of this like family aspect. Like when you walk on campus, there's always at least like 2 or 3 people to say hi to me just when I'm walking from my house to the building that my class is in, and I just really love that hominess about it. Like there's just no different feeling than just being with your friends on campus because this is, I always say it takes a special kind of person to be in healthcare. A lot of these people are going into healthcare. So when you have a school surrounded by these warm, fuzzy people, it just creates such a good atmosphere. And so, yeah, that's why I chose USci. Just from the first tour, I got that feeling, and it just really felt like I was meant to be there. And I'm still here 4 years later. So I actually live right at the end of campus, less than a block. I'm sitting outside. So it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't live that close if I didn't like it.
Awesome. And yeah, I mean, I definitely know what you mean about the campus community. We are it's a smaller school. We have about 2,500 students, for those of you who aren't as familiar with us. So you can tell like, the faculty know their students by first name, and everyone just kind of knows each other. It's easy to sort of feel like you fit in from the start. So that's great. And then Bria, I also know before you had mentioned that you were coming here right from your clinicals, right? Can you tell us a little bit about sort of the experiential opportunities that USciences provides?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't actually have time to throw on my USci shirt. I'm still in my scrubs, but I did have a clinical experience all this week actually, and it's called PBL. That's called problem-based learning. Basically, it's a time where we really sit down with all of the information that we've learned so far, and we sit down with a small group of people. Usually, it's between 3 to 4 people, and this is the week where we really go into very small details about how to read different types of charts, how to apply different principles that we've been learning. Just to give like an example, so yesterday we went through the patient's entire chart and we figured out which assessments would be the most beneficial to apply to them, to just look at their functioning, look at every aspect of their lives that we needed more information on. And then today we're actually coming up with an intervention plan based on the results of those assessments, and working with a client that actually has Parkinson's disease. And just like tomorrow, we're going to be going over how we assessed that client and what types of interventions we used, and just saying like what can we do differently and how can we apply this. So there's a lot of hands-on field work all the time on campus. This is not the only experience that I've had like this. Last week we also had another fieldwork experience where we actually went into a Goodwill that specializes in medical supplies, and we actually did scavenger hunts and became more familiar with the equipment. So there's like a lot of really cool clinicals that we do both on campus and off. And another thing that I also really like to talk about is the clinical experiences that we do here on campus, such as inviting people from the community in so we can work with people from local community or local neighborhoods, and we can also use the different facilities that we have on campus, such as the simulation labs, which are basically mock hospital rooms where we learn how to interact with our clients. Sometimes we'll bring people into the community from into there and learn how to take vital signs. I know it just sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm really just trying to get through to you guys that there are so many opportunities to practice what we're learning here on campus. So USci's campus does not just stay here; it spreads to like every every possible thing that you can think of, like even in the midst of the pandemic, like learning how to do telehealth and interacting with our client through the computer and learning proper etiquette. Like there are so many opportunities that we have for fieldwork here on campus. And yeah. Sorry.
Great, thank you. No, I love it. I love how excited you get when you talk about your practical experiences, because that is really important for our students to get to actually do what they're learning, and do it in the real world, so that when you finish your degree, you're not brand new, and at practicing. So that's awesome. Thank you, Bree. And like I said, if you guys do have questions, feel free to type them into the Q&A box, anything specific for Bree or just general as well, and we can answer those in a few minutes. So now I'm going to turn it over to Hannah. And Hannah, if you wanted to tell us about your transfer story and your experience.
Hi guys, I'm Hannah. I'm a U3 Pharmaceutical Sciences major. I'm from North Jersey. I went to Raritan Valley Community College for 2 years and then transferred to University of the Sciences. So I transferred here in the fall, in the midst of the pandemic. Um, I would say definitely difficult to transfer, but coming here made it so much easier. Everyone here made it feel like family, like Kendra and Bree said. Like you think you have this mindset that it's going to be so difficult to transfer. You're not going to have any friends, but they make it so easy for you. It's really easy to make friends here. They the homey feeling is everywhere you go. Um, so I live on campus in Ozil, as you can see. So it's a suite setting with 4 rooms, and I used to have 2 suite mates. One is actually a transfer, the other one was a pharmacy major, but now I just have one suite mate. We share a kitchen and a bathroom, so that's pretty nice. It's only 2 blocks from campus, so you kind of have that off-campus feeling, but you're still living on campus. I work as an ambassador, obviously. I get to help transfer students and other students feel welcomed here. I also work in the mailroom, so I get to see a lot of people around there. Um, as well as being an ambassador, I am part of the Drug Information Association, which is an industry pharma club. We get to learn about how to get involved in industry once we get into the job market. I'm also a new member of Delta Phi Epsilon, so that's so much fun. Greek life is a very big thing here, and is definitely a way to get involved. I also am in the midst of starting research on campus. So, as a transfer student, you can start research as soon as you transfer in. I just started research this semester because I wanted to get comfortable with the campus and the professors. So, right now, we're doing research over Zoom, but you still definitely feel involved. I go to all the meetings with the professor that I'm working with and also the graduate students. So basically the graduate students are doing the work in the lab, but they're telling me their results and how they did it. And that makes me feel involved. And I'm also learning from them about how they get their results, how they analyze it and everything like that. Also, just from being here a semester and a half, I've met so many people. Like Bree said, you get so much, what's the word I'm looking? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like field work, you definitely get so much of that. I know since I'm a pharmaceutical sciences major, I'm usually in the Farm Talks building and they have brand new labs. So basically it's simulating like I would be in the lab at work when I get into the job market. So that's super helpful. Most of the professors here have worked numerous years in industry, so they're helping me to learn what I would do at work. And I think that's it.
Awesome. That was great. I didn't know that you were doing so much already on campus. So that's awesome to hear that even like you said, in the midst of a pandemic, a global pandemic, you can still, really get a lot out of your college experience. Um, can you tell me more about the research you're doing? Like which faculty member are you working with and what is the project that they're doing?
Yeah, so I work with Dr. Surrey from the Farm Talks faculty, and basically we're working on how to target drugs to cancer more effectively. So I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but chemotherapy and drugs to target cancer aren't very effective. So it goes to your brain, it goes to your heart, it goes to your lungs, it goes to your other organs. So effectively, as it is targeting the cancer, it's also poisoning the rest of the organs in your body. So in our lab, we're trying to figure out how to just target the cancer tumors instead of targeting other things in the body. So it would make it less poisonous to the rest of the body and more effective to just the cancer tumors.
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that we even were doing that on our campus, so that's incredible. Um, and in terms of the online, because I know some of your courses are online right now, could you just kind of talk about how that works and um, you know, just sort of what that experience is like at USciences?
Yeah, so definitely going from all in person last year to going online, a full online semester last semester was a big change, but the professors definitely make you feel more comfortable. They have office hours just like they would do if we were in person. The tutoring center is still doing tutoring online. The writing center is still taking like appointments for that. So that's makes it a lot easier. Everyone is here to help you. No one is here to make things more difficult. Um, so the class is online. Like they record it. So if you have to go back and you want to study, you can go back and watch the recordings. Um, you can still make appointments with professors to meet with them if you're having trouble. Everyone here is really here to help you. No one's here to bring you down. They want to see you succeed.
Awesome. And then I also know that, so you're living close to campus, but from the photos you sent me, it looks like you have you've done a lot of exploring around the city. So I know that it looks like you went to like a baseball game and you went to the art museum. Do you just want to talk about like what your favorite things to do around the city are
Yeah.
on campus?
So the picture that's on the slide actually is my view from my window right now. Well, it's not right now, but is my view from my window. And one of the things I look forward to every day is just seeing the sunset from my window. I really love it. You also get to see Baltimore Ave, which is like one of the main roads that goes to the hospital. So you see all the trolleys, all the ambulances. It's a great time. But the photo on the slide now is from the art museum. I went there a couple weeks ago. It was super nice. The view is amazing. The art museum is really historical and you get to see so many things. Like it really opened my eyes because I've never been there before, but it was so much fun. I'm a big baseball fan. So Citizens Bank Park, Lincoln Financial and the Wells Fargo Center is a 15-minute drive from USciences. Um, there's also so many things to do. Sierra Green is a big thing. It's a 5-minute drive from USciences. There's Pier 1, which is right under the Ben Franklin Bridge. There's Penn's Landing. That's a 15-minute drive. Everything's really 10 to 15 minutes from here. There's so many things to do. Once it starts getting warmer, there'll be outdoor dining everywhere. There's a really cute brunch place right up the street from here. It's called Renata's. They have the best brunch ever. So good. I go there at least once a week. So really there's so many things to do here, and it's such a great time because the people you meet are so kind and want to be your friend, and it's just a great time.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and I've been to Renata's kitchen too, and I love it as well. And it's so close to campus, which is really convenient. And I've had their brunch, and looks like Bree really likes their hot chocolate. Is that a thing? I didn't know they did that. But yeah, so again, I just wanted to open it up. If you guys do have questions now, feel free to type them in. If you're still thinking, that's totally fine. What I'm going to do while we're waiting for questions to come in, because I know that some of you tuning in tonight are interested in transferring specifically to USciences. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of who we are before we finish the webinar tonight. So of course, you can tell from our name, we are a university that is uniquely focused on the sciences and the health professions. So this does make us very different from most other schools that you may be looking at and considering. Our curriculum is very experience-based, as you've heard from some of our ambassadors tonight, very hands-on. We like to make sure our students get real-world experience so that when they do graduate, they're ready to just jump into the industry, whether that's, practicing in research labs or, in different healthcare facilities. All of our faculty are experts in their fields, so they have the top degree that is possible. So you will be taught by, a PhD in physics. You won't be taught by like a graduate assistant or a TA or something like that. So our students really learn from the best. And we have been around for a long time. So we were actually founded in 1821, 200 years ago. This year, we had our 200th anniversary ceremony a couple weeks ago. So we are really proud of that. We were the first pharmacy college in the entire country. And hopefully some of you guys will be here this fall for our 200th year. Some of you may have heard that we have signed a letter of intent with St. Joe's University. There was an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer that kind of explains, what that means. Basically, we are considering merging our two institutions into one larger institution. So we would keep all of our healthcare programs. We're going to keep the tuition and the scholarships for this fall for incoming students. Not much is going to change for this upcoming year. All of our articulation agreements would still be here as well. It's just that we would be merged with them, and then St. Joe's would have our healthcare programs, and we would have some of the St. Joe's programs that we don't currently offer. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me as well. We'll probably know more about that in the next few months. Now, this is a full list of our undergraduate programs. So you can see everything we do is really focused on science. We even have a business program that is focused on the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry. The programs with the star next to them have the pre-med curriculum built into them. So those are popular majors for students who would like to go to medical school. And the programs that are in bold, those are ones that are available fully online through USciences Online. So that's the online division. So we do online learning very well. We do have pre-health specialization. So like I said before, pre-med is very popular, pre-dental, pre-optometry, pre-vet. We have a separate advising team just for those students who want to pursue professional school after graduating with their bachelor's degree. And then we also offer our professional program. So like Bree was talking about, we have our 6-year direct entry programs in pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. And then we also have a physician assistant program. We have transfer options for all of these. So if you are interested in transferring into one of those programs, that is an option. Our tuition is fixed and reduced. So you may have heard a few years ago, we lowered our tuition and we also froze it, meaning that the tuition you start out with your first year is going to be the same tuition you graduate with for your undergraduate years. So you don't have to worry about, your tuition or the fee increasing while you're here with us. You're going to know the total cost of your education from day one. So for students beginning this fall in a 4-year bachelor's degree program, the tuition is $27,500 per year, and that is including the fee. We have a number of transfer partnerships with community colleges in the area. So if you see one of your community colleges represented here, make sure you look up the transfer partnership we have. It just makes it easier for you to transfer. We have outlined transfer advising guides for you that show you all the courses that that you can take within your associate's degree. And then we also have special events on our campus or virtually just for students who go to these schools. So like I said, it just simplifies the process, and we have on our website an area dedicated just to the articulation agreements. But for all students, the way to apply is the same. So you're just going to apply through the common application for transfer students. That's the only application system we use. We don't have a separate one that you have to worry about. It is free to apply. So some colleges, you will have to pay a fee to apply through the common application, but for us, we waive the fee for students. We are a rolling admissions school. So as soon as we complete your application, we will review you, and you can apply to transfer in the fall or the spring. Most students choose to transfer in the fall. But if you did want to wait until the spring, that's totally fine as well. And you may have heard this hashtag here. This is our USciences hashtag proven everywhere, because our students really are proven everywhere they go. If you follow us on social media, we're always doing fun like student takeovers so that you can see, and alumni takeovers as well, so that you can see sort of where our students have gone after they've graduated. And one of our transfer students, she was a business student, and she did a transfer takeover I think a few weeks ago, and it was just really cool to see what she's doing now with her degree. I also wanted to let you know, for students who are here who may be going to our partner schools currently, next week we're having a special event just for students who are currently going to those schools. It's our transfer partner virtual information session. So it's kind of like a special open house event where you're going to get to learn more about the transfer process, kind of how that works. And you'll also get to attend a lecture, like a guest lecture from one of our faculty members. And this semester, the lecture is going to be about exercise science and sort of, how to stay active in the midst of a pandemic and the benefits that can have on your mental health as well as your physical health. So it's going to be really interesting. So hopefully you can sign up for that. I will put the link to register for that in the chat box in a few minutes, just after I finished this. And then I also wanted to let you know, we have other transfer tips webinars coming up. So we've got a couple more. So the finance one was in February. You can go on our website and view the recording for that. Of course, we're in the transfer student stories now, and then we'll talk about, choosing the right school for you next month, because April is kind of the time when everyone's choosing, making your deposit and deciding where you're going to go. And then in May, we're going to talk about how to make the most of your transfer experience. So kind of, how can you make sure that you are adjusting and using all of the resources that are available for you. And we may have some other transfer ambassadors to help us with that one, to kind of talk about their transfer experience again. So I just wanted to say thank you. It looks like we are almost done, almost at time. I see a couple questions have popped up, so I'm going to answer them now, and I'll be hanging out here if anyone does want to stick around. So we've got a question: what are the credit limits until you're unable to transfer? So the maximum amount of credits that you can transfer in is 90 for a bachelor's degree program. So essentially you have to complete at least 30 credits at USciences to be able to receive a bachelor's degree from USciences. So 90. Another question is it too late to apply for the fall semester? No, it's not too late, but you definitely want to apply soon. Technically the deadline is not until July, but you definitely would want to apply sooner, just because that would give you more time to get your financial aid package, figure out your budget and figure out like where you're going to live, if you're going to commute, all of that. All of those fun things that you're gonna be thinking about. So I would recommend, even if you just start the application now, most students submit their application around April or May. Looks like we have a question for our transfer ambassadors. Someone wants to know if it was hard finding roommates after you transferred. What was that process like? This is a good
So,
question.
sorry, Bree. So, I actually went random when I decided to live on campus this year. I was put with another transfer student and then one other girl. It ended up working out perfectly fine, but there is a process you can go through if you find people you want to live with on campus. They have a whole housing portal. It's super easy to use. And then next year, I'm actually looking to live off campus, and it's super easy to find people to live with. We have like a Facebook page you can go through and find people. Also, it's so easy to make friends. So, like, you'll find people you click with, and I'm sure they'll need somewhere to live at some point. So, it's super easy to find people to live with here.
Thanks, Hannah. And just to clarify, so you meant that residence life like assigned you a roommate, right? With the okay. Okay, great. And I know the person who asked this question, I know that the residence life team does make an effort to couple like transfer students together, since you're kind of coming in in the same boat. So you're not going to be rooming with like a freshman student, or someone who might be in a very different position than you. Bree, did you have something? Did you want to answer the question, or was that?
Well, I was going to say, Hannah kind of hit the nail on the head. She explained a lot of our resources. I was kind of in exactly the same boat. I applied for a random, my first. Oh, I applied for a random roommate my first year, and I was actually placed in an apartment, the apartment style housing, the same one that Hannah's living in right now, with actually all other transfer students. So I actually lived in a dorm or that residence hall with 5 other people, and they all happened to be transfers, which was really nice because we all got to go to events together and kind of like figure out how to navigate through campus together, because it was like the blind leading the blind. But at the same time, that was kind of nice because we could go out and pick 5 different clubs, and we would all just go to different club meetings and figure out what we wanted, and it really encouraged all of us to get out of our shells. And then I actually wound up moving in with 2 people in my sorority my second year. Joining clubs is also a huge way to find roommates. Like, I really can't stress enough how important like getting involved on campus is. But there were always gonna be people in your clubs and stuff that send out a mass email and be like, "Hey, I need a roommate. Does anyone know if someone's looking for one?" So that's another, just like word of mouth. People are pretty interconnected here. So if you just start asking around, "Hey, do you know anybody that's looking for a roommate?" Most likely you'll find one by the end of the day.
Thank you both. Yeah, that was a great question. If there are any other questions related to like the neighborhood or campus life or anything like that, um, feel free to type them in. And if there are no other questions, you can feel free to head on out. You can always contact me as well. Or I know that we had put our ambassadors info in the chat. So if you are open to that, if you guys wanted to reach out to them directly, you can certainly do that as well. But I just wanted to say thank you all so much for coming. I'm excited to see a few names, a few familiar names in the room tonight. And, we're looking forward to seeing you guys hopefully on campus soon. If we can get back on campus anytime soon. So thank you so much and have a great night.